leadership is a skill like any other skill you can acquire. But you're only as good as your ability to improve on that skill, practice that skill, and work at that skill. Hi, my name is Bill Simpson. I have a new book called Pivot Point. It's a memoir about my career and my life. After my retirement in 2018 from Hershey Entertainment Resorts Company, I had an opportunity to go out and speak to numerous groups about my experiences, my journey in work and in leadership. I'd share with them stories and examples from all parts of my career, from beginnings as a management trainee until my final 5 years as CEO of the company. The stories I would share seemed to resonate with many of them. How I became a student of leadership midway through my career. How really no one had ever invested in my development as a leader, and I had to figure it out on my own. How I discovered that the responsibility of a leader is to create more leaders and to invest in others so they can be their best. I'll share with you stories that began through my childhood, where I wasn't aware of leadership or didn't think about leadership, and yet leadership was occurring around me and I didn't know it. I'll talk to you about crucial moments in my life and career and what I learned about them that were pivotal to making me the person I became. Throughout my life, I've had an opportunity to get to know some great people. Leaders that I admire, people that I admire, and in this book, in this memoir, you will hear from some of them. You'll hear from Pat Flannery, an NCAA men's basketball coach from Bucknell University. Pat will talk about his transition through different levels of coaching and what he learned along the way as a leader and coach. I'll also share with you some of the work of people that I've come to admire from a distance. People like Stephen Covey, who wrote The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, one of the most important books I've ever read. And then finally, I want to share with you Jim Hunter's work. Jim wrote the book The Servant. It was the first book I'd ever read about servant leadership. It was a game changer for me. Still one of the most inspirational books about life and leadership I've ever read. When I was thinking about putting together this book and deciding what stories to tell, I was considering who I wanted this book to be for. I wrote it for emerging leaders. To me, an emerging leader is someone who's early in their career, who's learned the technical aspects of their work and become very, very good at it. And because of that, they've been given more and more responsibility and perhaps even some supervisory responsibility. But because you're proficient at a task does not mean you're proficient at leading people. I also wrote this book for people that have had success as a leader, who are in mid-career, have done some great things, but now are starting to struggle, and they don't know why. Their responsibilities have increased time and time again, and yet their skills hasn't grown with them. And now they've reached a point where they're struggling. I hope that through these stories and reflections of what I went through, you'll find some inspiration to want to become the best version of yourself that you can be, so that you can be an influence to others and an inspiration to others as well. I hope you enjoy the book.